Hello, this is John with Anthem Business Solutions, and today we're going to go over job types. So for this, you're going to go to the admin portal, which is hrpos.heartland.us, and then you're going to go to the menu icon here at the top left, and then location setup, and then below staff is job types. Job types is something that you assign to each staff member. It allows you to edit ticket access and allows you to edit how they process transactions. For example, on the transactions, basically whether or not they're going to be cashiers or servers. The difference is cashiers have physical cash drawers with physical tills, and the servers with the server bank has virtual tills. Nothing's physical there. So if you're adding a brand new one, your new button is going to be up here on the top as usual, or if it's your first time, it's going to be here in the middle. I've already got a bunch created here in my testing account here. So I'm not going to add any new ones, but I am going to go over a couple of these just so you can see how I have them set up in case you wanted to duplicate any of them. So we'll go into cashier first. So obviously you have to have a name on each of the job types. And the second option here is for time clock only. So I actually use that feature on bussers. On bussers, I just do time clock only and if they received any tips. And then kitchen staff. A lot of times I'll do that on them as well. The reason why is because there's no reason why bussers or kitchen staff, most of the time, in most cases, there's no reason why they need to access the point of sale other than to clock in and out. So I just restrict them to that. And required tips is just kind of like what it says. If you have this checked, it will ask them when they clock out how many tips they had. It allows them to enter tips. This one here is for ticket status information. So this is more common in table service. So you don't want, in table service, a lot of times you don't want a server to be able to see another server's tickets. So if you put a checkbox here, it will gray out other people's tickets and actually restrict you from seeing any status information as well. So not something we need on cashier. Access to other tickets. So this is, can each person access other people's tickets? If no, then you hit none. If they can, but only to look at them, then you can do view only. If you want everyone to be able to edit each other's tickets, then you do edit. So in cashier, we usually want that on. In table service with servers, not usually. Just it kind of depends on the environment. And then this one here is for cash transactions. This is basically asking, are they going to be a cashier with a cash drawer, or are they going to be a server with a server bank? Or you could do none. So for cashier, we're going to do cash drawer. And this is tender cash permission. So this is basically asking, if it's a cash drawer, are you going to limit them to only using their assigned drawer, or can they use any drawer? So in this case, I chose assigned drawer. There are some cases where you may have like a generic user or a manager, whatever, where you want to do any drawer. Void cache permissions. Again, it's asking the same thing. Can this be done on any drawer, or does it have to be an assigned drawer? I like to use the assigned drawer because it just, as long as you're able to have just that one person on that one cashier, I like to use the drawer. If not, it's okay to use the any drawer. Pay in and pay outs. Can it be just the assigned drawer, or can it be any drawer? No sale permission, can it be any drawer or just the assigned drawer? And no sale will pop the drawer open. That is. Ignore display formats. You can go in here and say, oh, I know what I use this one on a lot. Bartenders. With a bartender environment, you have the bartender behind the bar. Oh, it's not even selected here, and it should be. So I would do ignore display formats and put bar orders here. Because if you have a bartender behind the bar and they're ringing in orders, they don't need to know. They don't need anything to print out. They already know what they're about to make because they were there. But that still allows the servers, the wait staff, to send bar orders, and those will show up to the bar. Just not when bartenders are ringing up the item. Let's save that. Back to cashier here. So for cashier, I'm not going to ignore any display formats. I would want everything to print for cashiers. Labor categories. I don't use this at every location, but it can be helpful if you go in and throw in something like a front of house category and a back of house category. It's not mandatory, it's not required, but if you do set it up, then you can assign it here. Otherwise, just leave it blank. And then here you have the assigned staff members and their rates. You can also add them. Of course, you assign the job type in the actual staff section when you're creating the employee as well. You can do it here too. This is a nice place to go if you're going to increase everybody's rate, or just want to glance at everything as a whole. And then this is server checkout report. Basically, do you want it to prompt? Do you want it to always print, or never? I like to have it as always. All right, and then outside of that, you've got the add new here, or create new. You've got audit trails. You can delete the job. You got your close and save. I'm gonna close this one. So now with server, it's gonna be kind of the opposite on a lot of it from what the cashier was. So I usually leave edit other people's tickets on there just in case they need to help out. But again, that just depends on your environment. And then I do server bank, and then it's bank only for everything else. No sale doesn't matter because you're not really opening a drawer. Everything's in your little pouch or pocket or whatever it's called. That's kind of what I do with server. Managers are a little different. So managers, you can have managers as server banks as well. If you have cash drawers in your environment, then a lot of times you'll just want to choose cash drawer, but you're going to choose the option for any drawer. That way you'd be able to do all these features, voids, payouts, no sales on any drawer instead of just one that you're assigned to. That's kind of the difference that I did there. And then I already showed you staff, host and hostess. If you have one of those, I kind of did them like the kitchen staff. It really, unless your host or hostess needs to access the point of sale for anything else, I just give them time clock only. And then owner, I usually do owner a lot like the manager, except for I usually do server bank. Unless you want, as an owner, you want to be able to access cash drawers, and you'd want to put that as cash drawer. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Like I said, you can go into staff, and down here at the bottom are your job types, where you can add multiple job types. If you need more info on how to create an employee, that's in my other videos, so please look those up. Outside of that, that's all I got for this video. I hope it helped. Thanks for watching. Want to stay up to date on the latest tips and tricks? Don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon.